In the heart of a forgotten African village, where the drums of fate beat louder than the cries of the poor, a story was born, a tale that would shake pride, reward wisdom, and change lives forever. Once upon a time, in the village of Obike, there lived a poor boy named Ikana. He had nothing but his mother's worn-out mat, a cracked water pot, and a heart full of dreams. Every morning Ikena would fetch water, help elders, and observe silently. Though poor in wealth, he was rich in wisdom. One day the village square filled with noise. The town crier shouted, "The chief is searching for someone wise enough to solve the riddle of the stones." Chief Ogboniu, the richest and proudest man in the land, wanted to prove that no poor person could be truly wise. Chief Ogboniu stood tall in the village square, laughing as he watched the crowd. "If any poor soul among you thinks he is wise, let him step forward. Solve my riddle, and I shall reward him," he declared. One by one, men and boys tried and failed. Then Ikena stepped forward. "You, a boy who wears no shoes, wants to answer my riddle?" The chief mocked. "Yes, my chief. If I fail, let me be silent forever. But if I succeed, let the poor be treated with respect." The chief, amused, posed his riddle, a complex tale of rivers, stones, stars, and numbers. Ikena listened carefully, smiled gently, and solved it. The village gasped. The chief froze. Then applause thundered. The boy had won. Though embarrassed, the chief gave Ikena 20 bags of yam and 5 goats as promised. But in secret, the chief planned another test to prove the boy's wisdom was just luck. He handed Ikena a sealed calabash and said, "Take this to the healer in Azimut village. Do not open it." Ikena bowed and began his journey, but he soon noticed strange sounds coming from inside the calabash. Should he obey or investigate? He remembered his mother's words. Wise man seeks to understand before he obeys. Carefully he opened it. Inside was a deadly snake. It was meant to kill someone. Ikena killed the snake and delivered the empty calabash. Back at the palace, the chief was furious but couldn't deny the truth. "Why did you open the calabash?" he demanded. "Because wisdom means protecting lives, not following blind orders," Ikena replied. The crowd nodded in agreement. The chief, again, was silenced. But he still couldn't accept defeat. Pride held him prisoner. The village elders began whispering, "Why is the chief setting traps for a child?" Ikena said nothing. He let his actions speak, but he was ready for whatever came. Days later, the chief called Ikena again. "What do you want from me?" he asked. "I want justice for the poor, a market without tax, a village where the wise are heard, even if barefoot," Ikena replied. The crowd erupted in support. The chief, ashamed, bowed his head. That day, he announced changes. A new tax-free market, free land for farming, free lessons from elders to the youth. Ikena was named youth advisor, not because of age, but because of sense. The village transformed. The recently established market was referred to as the Market of Wisdom. Elders were responsible for sharing stories with the younger generations. Lack of resources led to some families starting small farms and raising animals. The village head started walking with a cane rather than resorting to ageism, displaying humility. One day the chief invited Ikana to a dinner event and expressed, "You have taught me more in terms of wisdom than my years have." Ikana preserved his humility. Many years passed since that time. Ikana had gradually grown into a young adult man. One fateful day the respected chief fell seriously ill. The only rare herb capable of saving his life could only be found within the forest of echoes itself. Everyone present was deeply afraid. There was no one brave enough to even enter the premises. Ikana, without hesitation, volunteered to help. The people asked him, "Why are you volunteering to help the man who sought to harm you?" Ikana replied, "Before anything else, wisdom should never act as a form of revenge. Instead, it should rise above the pain and suffering that one endures." Gathering courage, Ikana entered the dense forest and bravely fought off various wild animals. He finally discovered the rare herb. Returning from his journey, he successfully saved the beloved chief. The chief wept as he miraculously recovered. "You are more precious than gold, my dear Ikena," he gently whispered. During a magnificent festival, the esteemed chief bravely removed his magnificent royal beads and placed them lovingly on his friend Ikena's forehead. "The chief of wisdom is all yours, dear Ikena," he proudly declared. The rejoicing villagers danced, shouted, and sang heartfelt songs of gratitude towards Ikena. "An innocent and humble poor boy is far better than a foolish, rich man," they enthusiastically chorused. Humble and content, Ikena kindly declined the rich man's offer to return to the palace. He preferred to remain in the company of the simple people, teaching, mentoring, and inspiring them to prosper. Fascinatingly, Ikena chose to accept the humble title and to live amongst them, rather than in the glittering splendor of the palace. If this moving tale resonates with your heart, kindly press the like button. Follow our channel for more enriching African wisdom, and don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below.